What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Bluebloods official podcast of FCS Football Central on SI, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook and the Believe Network. And we have a very, very special guest today. He's a two-time FCS All-American, was a consensus All-American this past season, three-time All-Big Sky selection, two-time first-team All-Big Sky selection, a JUCO All-American, the single-season record holder at Montana with over 2,400 all-purpose yards in a single season, and who I've called the most versatile college football player we have in the sport today. We're joined by Montana wide receiver Michael Wortham. Michael, man, appreciate you hopping on the show.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be here, man. It's a blessing.
Man, well, I want to get right into it because you really popped on our radar at Eastern Washington, obviously, but I want to take a step further back from that, man. A lot of the kids that we see, especially down here, right, from Alabama, like the JUCO circuit is huge in Mississippi, and we got a bunch in Texas. Talk about your journey to JUCO, man, because I was looking at some of your high school numbers and accomplishments, man, and you were balling at the high school level. What led you to take the JUCO route, and how did that shape your career throughout college football?
Yeah, man. I was very like not highly recruited when I was in high school. And so yeah, I mean, I had great numbers, but probably due to my size and position, I was quarterback there as well. So could have played a factor in multiple parts, especially coming out of high school. I mean, pretty the politics behind high school players right now compared to then is a little bit different. It's definitely harder, with NIL and transfers and stuff like that. But it just didn't work out, and so and also COVID hit around that time, so it was very rough on recruiting and getting into different schools and stuff. Even if I did have a chance, it got shut down pretty quick. So yeah, I was given a good opportunity by Coach Noonan. He believed in me. He was kind of there. It was pretty much a lot of JUCOs. Having interest in me, and he was just one of the guys that physically came to my house and met my family and stuff like that. So he showed so much love, and yeah, I had my doubts about junior college at first, but there's a lot of great guys that play in the league, that came from a JUCO, and so my dad told me to give it a shot, man. I gave it a shot, man, and I mean, I loved it. I recommend it to anybody.
It's funny. My co-host on our main show used to coach at the JUCO level, and now he's an FCS assistant head coach. And he always told me, if you find good players out of JUCO, they seem to be hungrier than most people, because I don't think a lot of people understand the struggle that you guys go through with JUCO. I have a few friends that went the JUCO route, especially out where you were playing JUCO. Well, and I think last chance you kind of spotlighted it, right? The no scholarship, and a lot of you guys have to work during the season. How much of that experience just motivates you, put a chip on your shoulder, but that hard work through JUCO translate when you went up to the FCS level?
Yeah, I mean, my journey was a little different than most guys because I lived 15 minutes away from my JUCO, so I was blessed to still be able to stay with my mom and be able to drive down there and stuff like that. But I mean, in terms of access to different things, like our weight room wasn't even not even close. It was kind of run down a little bit old. It's nice now. They built a nice little thing. It looks like a whole university right now. But yeah, but where we were, training stuff, it was just it wasn't too, it wasn't too great. But I mean, at the same time, we're there to get work and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just so much motivation and hunger that comes from going the JUCO route because you're came from being overlooked. Some guys come from university and try to use that JUCO to kind of bounce back, but a lot of guys, never really got an opportunity, and were overlooked. So you're meeting guys that are shoot 23, 25, 21, 18. Like there's such a variety, so many different areas, there's people that's going to come from Alabama or, Florida or wherever, and they'll end up wherever you're at, so it's really just JUCO is just such a stepping stool, to get to where you want to be at, So yeah, man. I mean, it was an awesome experience, but it's not as like it depends on where you go. It's not
Yeah.
as pretty, especially in the dorms and stuff like that.
Man, I don't think people understand how weird it was the first time we were just kind of breaking down rosters, seeing you listed as a quarterback. And then looking, and it's like, man, this guy's got 1,000 kick return yards. Like, I was like, that's got to be a typo, right? He's got to be a wide receiver, running back. And the more film I watched when we first kind of started to look at you your first year at Eastern Washington, what was that transition like to the FCS level, man? And what was that initial conversation on how they were going to use you being such a versatile player, which we've seen kind of evolve throughout your career?
Yeah, so I was still quarterback. They recruited me as a quarterback. So I went into the spring, tried to fight for a job and stuff like that. I did end up winning it, but I was still doing good, like, performing in practice and stuff. And so they kind of just was like, hey, well, we have nobody for kick return. So once I got that, I was like, ah, man. That they really didn't break it down to me that who was really the starter, but like once I had that information, I was like, okay, well, they're not having a starting quarterback be a kick returner. So
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of like, all right, well, let's do it, man. Because I was a running back before I was a quarterback, So just having the ball in my hands, it feels natural. I love working, and juking guys. So I didn't mind it, So I took it as an opportunity. At first it was kind of heartbreaking a little bit because you're like, oh man, like this is what they brought me in for. Like, why am I not doing it? And the crazy thing is, I was still doing quarterback. Like, even after I got announced all that stuff, I was still doing quarterback drills, still practicing quarterback reps, with the team and stuff like that. So, I mean, I was still quarterback, but I was still doing all the other stuff. So, my quarterback mechanics slowly started to lower, and I slowly started to build more of like that athlete mechanics, and just running and stuff like that. So I mean, it was awesome. But yeah, I was brought in as quarterback first, and then they ended up switching.
When you entered the transfer portal after that last year at Eastern Washington, were you were you 100% sold that you were just going to go somewhere where you were going to be featured in some way, or were you still kind of holding out hope that you could go somewhere and be a quarterback?
Oh, at that point, I was more so like I knew what the scouts wanted from me. They wanted me to be a receiver and the special teams guy. So I knew quarterback is being out the question. So mainly just somebody that was going to utilize me to be able to showcase my talents. Offensively and on special teams. So Montana was the only one that kind of gave me both and was like very detailed on exactly what they wanted to do with me. So a lot of the other teams were kind of just like, we'll do special teams here, maybe a little offense. Like, it was just so unsure, and I just like, man, for my last year, I have so much to prove still, like I have to do some, pretty great this year, So I just felt like Montana was just going to give me the best opportunity to do so. And so, yeah, they did.
I just want to put in perspective for people. You got to Montana with only like a few hundred receiving yards, and now as we're sitting here talking, man, 1,000 yard season. You break the single season record for all purpose yards for a university that's had a ton of really really good athletes that come through there. Did you even exceed your expectations a little bit in this offense, man? Because I mean, there was a point in the year, I think about that Sac State game where we were kind of looking at the film like, can anybody in the Big Sky stop this guy at all? Like, what's the strategy there? Like, talk just a little bit about how hot you got during the season.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely exceeded all expectations. I haven't been a receiver, so like the biggest thing, like all those receiving yards, the pass ones that you talk about, was just like running back swings or wheel routes or whatever. So never really truly did receiver. So like just the fact, like the goal was 1,000, and I wanted to prove I wanted to get it, because there's a lot of guys that don't reach that, even for playing receiver for however long they've been playing, and so I was like, man, like if I could be able to go and get 1,000, that would be so awesome, and so the fact that I was able to do that, plus reach my goal of touchdowns as well, and receiving touchdowns and stuff like that, and even the record, it's just it was so much that like, man, like the stuff I knew I could do, but the fact that I did it, the fact that I showed myself I could do it, the fact that I proved some people wrong that I could play offense, I could be an offensive threat, primarily more than just special teams. Like, I mean, it just meant the world to me, So, I mean, I was just looking back, man. I was just like, man, this is crazy. Like every time we think, like, man, this is crazy. Like man, like none of my family has seen me did receiver, like so like we're all thinking, we all had the same question, like what am I gonna do? How's it gonna happen? And so that it all came true, man. I mean, the last checkpoint, man, is just the draft, So It was just such an awesome experience just being there.
What game did it click for you? Like, what game did you kind of sit down after the game and was like, man, like we can really do like this is going to be my greatest season ever. Was there a game where it just all kind of seemed to click for you in this offense?
Yeah, probably like Idaho State or Sac State. One of those two is when I was just like, all right, like yeah, this is gonna be the year exactly how I want it to be. Like right after, though, I really because as soon as Idaho State happened, then Sac State happened. So like, it's really just those two. Actually, no, I'll say Sac State because it was after Idaho State. So like, really after that game, I was like, okay, yeah, like this season's gonna go exactly how I want it to go, either for me as a player or as a team.
What was the playoff run like for you? Obviously, at Eastern Washington, you played a lot of the same teams, right? But like you guys made a deep run, one game away from the national title. What was that postseason experience like for you in playing on that stage, especially in Wagriz, which one of the best environments in the FCS, if not the best? What was it like to make that postseason run for your last year?
Yeah, it was awesome. I haven't been to the playoffs my whole college career, so like that was the first time. And so like it was just so awesome. Like I already knew the fans were gonna show up and show out. And so it just at the end of the day, it came to us having to play like we've been playing, throughout the season and stuff like that. And obviously, we wanted to get Montana State back, in the postseason. But I mean, it was just such an amazing experience because you see who really wants it and who doesn't. I mean, there's some teams that want it but still fall short. But I mean, it's win or lose, and so. We had a choice, in the beginning. We decided, this is what we want. We wanted our rivals back. We wanted that chance to be able to strip um, what they stripped from us, in the regular season, and get our confidence all the way back, because honestly, I kind of said it was either us or them that was going to win it, and so um, props to them though, like they did what they had to do against us. But I mean, like the experience was just so awesome, that you know what's at stake each and every time, you step on the field. So it was just awesome.
Before we switch to the Shrine Bowl, I got to ask, what is it like to play in Wagriz, and did it live up to the expectations for you being on the other sideline now?
Yeah, man, it was loud and electric, man. Like like when there's a big play, there's people screaming. Like it's better because like once we're all making big plays, so you're just hearing it just erupt each time. It's definitely it lives up to the hype. Like there, no matter what people's like, it is like it's gonna be loud there. And so it's exactly what people talk about.
And then looking back at this year, who was your toughest matchup, you feel like, throughout Big Sky play? Like, who was the who like where you could have listen, you could have put up however many yards, but after you were like, man, this was a long day at the office.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Montana State because I feel like we just didn't play like we needed to play. Like the first game offensively, I didn't play like I needed to play despite having a touchdown. And even the second time, I didn't play as I wanted to play, as good as I wanted to play. It's just like as a team effort, I feel like we just didn't do what we needed to do against them. So the reason I named them is because that's the only team we lost to. So.
That's
Um,
fair.
so that's just like one of those things, man. It's rough, but like, yeah, I'll give it to them.
Man, you went down to the Shrine Bowl down in Frisco, man, and just had one heck of a week. I think you were named to the all practice team. There were highlights every day coming out from you and man, all the FCS guys. I think Caleb had a good week down there from Southeastern Louisiana. Like, and it was funny enough, the MVP is a former FCS guy too, former national champion at the FCS level. What was that experience like? And I know for guys like you had a checklist of stuff you wanted to prove. Did you check everything off that to-do list going down to Frisco for the Shrine Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, like you said, getting some of that media coverage, and showcasing a little bit of my route running and catching and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like that's the things that I want scouts to see. I want them to see that like I'm competing at a high level, so there shouldn't be no question, of if I can do it, because now you have film on me doing it against premier athletes, and so it was awesome. But like, there's some things that I feel like you want back. Like I wanted, I didn't catch a few, so I definitely want to be able to catch those. And like the offensive MVP, obviously I'm kind of an overachiever, so there's a lot of things that I'm like, man, I wish I would have, but like at the same time, I did so good there. Blessed to make it out healthy as well. And so, yeah, man, it was just so much I wanted to prove there. But I feel like I checked a good amount of boxes, especially for the scouts.
Now, obviously, I know you guys meet with all the teams down there, so I want to ask you about individual teams. But what was some of the feedback you got from the teams and the scouts about what you showed and what they want you to prove moving forward and leading up into the draft?
Yeah, I mean, main thing was just kind of where they see me, so still returner to that slot receiver area, and so that's what we talked about the most. You don't talk to them really a day before the game or even on the day of the game. There are a lot of like the beginning of the practice, beginning of the week type of talks, and so yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just expecting me to kind of just be that athlete, that returner, return specialist, plus adapting to receiver as well. So I mean, little things. They still want to see me be able to. Actually, I think the list was. I think they just kind of said my weakness was like my height, my size, and like there was something else, but like nothing too major when it comes to like football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like it's just, they're always gonna question my height and size like that. But like I said, I mean I proved that I could be able to hang with the best. When I was there. So
Well, before we get into some quick hitters to end the interview, man, like I do want to like kind of shift off the field a bit, man, because I don't think people understand like the life of a college kid, right? Everyone just kind of thinks it's just single guys going out there balling and hanging out, man. Like you are raising a daughter as well, married as well. So how did you balance that with being all American, traveling, having to practice all week, and things like that? How did you balance family life and raising a daughter and finishing out your collegiate career and now preparing for the NFL draft?
yeah, biggest thing, like I give all the props to my wife, man. Like she's able to like she's such a superwoman. She helps so much throughout my career, and everything I need. They're actually in the room right now visiting here in Nashville, but yeah, man. I mean, like she's helped me so much. Helped us so much. When I'm there, playing football and stuff like that, going to practice stuff like that, she's sitting there watching our child, and then we flip flop because she works nights, so we kind of have a great schedule, fortunately for us. She's working nights, I'm working during the day, so it ends up working out, man. But like she helps so much, make sure she's taken care of, and she just believes in me so much. So like all the credit goes to her, man. She makes my life so much more easier. And plus our family too, we have a very supportive family that helps us constantly, whatever we need, whether it be financial needs or we need help moving or whatever it may be, they're willing to help us to step in, So biggest props to her. She makes it easy. She makes me able to be able to balance all that stuff, and then my family be second. They're right there. Just everybody's kind of making sure that I'm on a straight path, because they believe I get to lead. And so I believe it as well. So as much as they believe in me, man, it makes me want to keep going each and every day.
Man, that's awesome, man. Props to you. I think that was important to highlight, like at least in this interview, man. But some quick hitters here to end the interview, man. Some more lighthearted questions just about you. One on one, man, on the outside. What's the number one mistake a defensive back could make against you?
Playing man. I mean, dude, it's a lot of these guys. They like to hold me because I'm very quick, and so yeah. I mean, some teams are very smart not to put them in man and do a lot of zone stuff. So yeah, you get into that man. It yeah, it may not go the way you want it to go.
Looking back at, I guess at the D1 level from Eastern Washington to Montana, what was your welcome to college moment?
Ooh, I don't. I haven't had like a big like I haven't got like hit super hard, but like in terms of like welcome to college, I guess first game, Eastern Washington, NDSU in the Viking Stadium,
Oh, I forget. Yeah.
and I could say that game and Fresno State game was a welcome to college. But like, you're I didn't know much about NDSU at the time, so like first game was against a powerhouse that's been winning national championships left and right. We're in a Viking stadium, and I'm just in awe because I'm like, man, I don't know how. Like, I'm coming from a JUCO where there's only like 1,000 people, 1,000 fans in there, and now I'm in front of, NDSU travels well, so I don't remember the exact number, but I know it was 10,000 plus that was there, So I'm in front of them. I'm in the Viking Stadium. The balls glisten or the lights glisten on the ball like it's like a Madden game and stuff. Like it just felt so surreal just being in that moment, man. So like I mean I guess it's a good welcome to college moment, because like it was just so like it just felt like like I don't know how to explain it. It was just a great feeling. And I mean Fresno State went to overtime with those guys. I think 40,000 they hold or whatever the number is, all white out. Like everybody had their white shirts on, and it's like jumping. Like every time they score, like they flicker the stadium lights. Like it was crazy. So like most of those were like kind of the welcome to college moment because it was like man, this is for real. Like people, we got some fans here. We got teams, we got players that were playing that's going to the league. Like yeah, it was amazing experience.
That is awesome, man. Kind of a two-parter here. How big of a trash talker are you in between those white lines? And if it's not you, who was the biggest trash talker on Montana's team last year?
I'm not big of a trash talker like that. I'm more of a like I play, but like if you say something, then I might say something back for sure. You probably see me bickering at some Montana State guys because they like to trash all day. So I'm just not gonna sit there and just let it happen. But for the most part, though, I like to keep to myself. Just let me play the game, man. But I'm gonna say Ian Finch, number 5. He's our best trash talker. He's hilarious.
Wow, man. I took a guess before the interview, and I was like, I thought it was Keon. Because Keon, man, like
Oh,
every time he broke up a pass, man, like it was funny. We were talking on the podcast. I was like, man, Keon is always one celebration away from getting an unsportsmanlike conduct, but he breaks up a pass. He
yeah.
goes crazy.
Yeah, no, he's another big one. But like in terms of like all game, no matter what time of the game it is, sideline, he could be on the sideline. Like he's continuously. Keon's more like in game. Like when he's in the game, he's probably doing it. Like Ian is like on sideline, he's yelling at you. While he's in the game, he's yelling at you. Going to the locker room, he's yelling at you. Like he don't stop, man. I love that dude though.
All right, man. Two questions to wrap it up, man. Plus 20, one play left. It's you and I got. You get to draw up the route. What play you drawing up? Got to have a touchdown.
Plus 20, man. Give me a corner. We'll probably call it like if we had a few plays that revolved of me having the corner route. But yeah, give me chair, give me sizzle, give me they know all the play calls. Give me everything, Gator, give me all that. It's basically the same route for me. I got the corner. I feel like that's kind of one of those routes. Like I mean, as you can see, Montana State, even Taco Dowler hit him on a corner. That's pretty much the exact same thing. Man on man inside that 20. Like that's just the perfect route, especially for a slot guy. But I mean, shoot, you could even do a skinny post too as well. But yeah, that's like I like the corner routes right there. Like that's where the money is.
And the last question, man, which current or former NFL player do you feel like you model your game after the most?
Ooh, I'm gonna say I like the way Amon St. Brown moves. Very good athlete. There's a lot of guys like I'm still new to position, so it's like it's kind of like I was still looking at quarterbacks and like their dropbacks and stuff like that before this, so I'm still adjusted. But in terms of just like route running, and smoothness, like Amon St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, when it comes to speed, like there's just a few guys to name, but yeah, I'll just go with Amon.
Well, man, Michael, man, I really, really appreciate it, man. And I wish you the best of luck through this process. But I'm hoping, man, it'll be back to back wide receiver, special team guys to be drafted for Montana, man. So I know it'd be a big thing for you and your family. Man, the last thing, just let the people know where they can find you. Keep along with their journey, man. Anything you want to promote or tell the people, man, this moment's yours.
Yeah, man. So My Instagram is Cold Game Mike, 2Ks, 2Es. My Twitter's right there below me as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty active on there. If you guys end up hitting me up and I see it, I'm always free to respond. I don't like the big time people or none, man. Like this is what I do, man. This is what I do it for, man. I do it for you guys. I do it for my family, So yeah, if you guys want to stay updated, just follow both of those handles, man. And hopefully, man, I hear the name being called at the end of April, man. That'll be such a blessing, man. I mean, I'll be at a loss for words, if this able to happen. But regardless of the outcome, man, I'll be blessed to be in the league.
Man, again, Michael, man, I really, really appreciate it, man. Guys, make sure to go follow him on all social media, man. And like you said, hopefully he's one of the multiple FCS guys, man. We hear their name called at the 2026 NFL Draft near the end of April, man. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, all podcast streaming platforms. But for the Blue Bloods, FCS Football Central on SI, our sponsor, FanDuel, Michael Wortham, and myself, we are out for right now.